Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Last day of campaigning for fifth phase of India's parliamentary election. 49 constituencies across 8 states to go to the polls on the 20th of May. Fierce fighting in northern Gaza as aid starts to roll off a US-built pier. Israel's military recovers the bodies of 3 hostages from Gaza. And in a virtual knockout game, Chennai Super Kings to take on Royal Challengers Bengaluru in an Indian Premier League game. All right, first up, let's get you the latest on the world's largest democratic election in India. It's the last day of campaigning for fifth phase of India's parliamentary election. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is to hold rallies in Haryana's Ambala and Sonipat. Afterwards, he will hold a public meeting at Yamuna Khadar in the northeast Delhi constituency in India's capital. Right, we'll get you the latest from our team of reporters on the ground covering the elections in various states. I'll be joined momentarily by my colleague Vishal Baristo, who will join us from Sonipat in Haryana, where Prime Minister Modi will hold a rally later in the day. Right, we'll try to link up with Vishal Baristo in Sonipat in just a bit. Right, I'm told Vishal is with us. Vishal, how's the last day of campaigning coming along in Haryana?
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Ramesh. Before I answer to your question, let me tell you that it's extremely hot out here, not because only of elections, but also because of weather conditions. There has been an alert in 10 districts of Haryana, which is going through the last day of campaigning. And hot loo is blowing. For the benefit of our international viewers, loo means hot, dusty wind, which can lead to death if you get heat stroke by the hot wind loo. So there's an orange alert in 10 districts. The timings of the school has been changed, and also the timings of the campaigning had to be changed because of this extremely hot conditions, with mercury rising up to 47 degrees centigrade. Today is the last day, and Prime Minister would be holding rallies in 2 places in Haryana. One is Ambala and the other one is Sonipat, from where I am reporting to you. Sonipat would be catering to 2 Lok Sabha seats. One is Sonipat and the other one is Rohtak. Ramesh?
Also, Vishal, what more can you tell us about the Prime Minister's rallies to be held in the state later in the day?
Well, as I just informed you, there are 2 rallies lined up for the day. One is Ambala and the later one is Sonipat, from where I'm reporting. Now, today is the last day, and Prime Minister is spearheading the campaign for the Bharatiya Janata Party, which is eyeing all 10 seats in Haryana. Remember, Haryana already has government in the state, so it would like to repeat its good performance which it did in 2014 and 19, and this is going to be the 3rd consecutive victory if BJP does well in Haryana. Prime Minister is working very hard for the party, and yesterday I spoke to the candidate of BJP from Sonipat, and he also told me that I am asking for votes only in the name of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So it is going to be an interesting contest. Congress is giving a very tough fight as far as Haryana is concerned. Ramesh?
All right, we leave it at that. Vishal, thank you. Vishal Baristo reporting there from Sonipat in Haryana. In other news, BJP leader and Home Minister Amit Shah held a rally in Lalitpur in Uttar Pradesh. He will also be holding rallies in Jhansi, Banda and Amethi.
अब चिंता मत करो ललितपुर वालों, झांसी में नया एयरपोर्ट भी बनने जा रहा है। 108 करोड़ से झांसी ग्वालियर के बीच में ओवरब्रिज और रोड बड़ा। ग्लोबल इन्वेस्टमेंट समिट के अंदर 321 निवेश के प्रस्ताव हुए। मेरे बुंदेलखंड में 2 लाख करोड़ का इन्वेस्टमेंट आने वाला है, 2 लाख करोड़।
Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath is in Maharashtra, where he addressed a public rally in Dhule. The Chief Minister will also address rallies in Palghar, North Mumbai and Central Mumbai constituencies. BJP President JP Nadda held a public meeting in Himachal Pradesh's Kangra. He will be holding rallies in Chamba and Solan as well. Meanwhile, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi is to hold a rally in Uttar Pradesh's Barabanki and New Delhi's Chandni Chowk. Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge held a press conference in Mumbai along with the party's alliance partners such as Uddhav Thackeray and Sharad Pawar. Kharge said that their alliance will win 46 out of 48 seats in Maharashtra.
मैं भी 53 साल से पॉलिटिक्स में हूँ। एमएलए बन के और एमपी राज्यसभा बन के मेरे भी 53 साल हो गए। अब कोर्स हमारे शरद पवार साहब हमसे भी 5 साल आगे हैं, क्योंकि वो पहले से ही राजकारण में आए और उन्होंने अपनी ताकत भी रखी महाराष्ट्र में। साथ ही साथ उद्धव ठाकरे जी भी जब आए तब से वो भी पॉलिटिक्स में टिक के रहे हैं। तो मेरा एक ही कहना है कि ये जो विश्वासघात की पॉलिटिक्स चल रही है,
Bahujan Samaj Party Chief Mayawati is to hold a rally in Basti district of Uttar Pradesh. The US has praised India's vibrant democracy as the country holds the world's largest election. A US official applauded the Indian voter for exercising their franchise.
More vibrant democracies in the world than India, and we applaud the Indian people for exercising, their ability to vote and have a voice in their future government. And we wish them well.
India's Ayodhya gears up for the 5th phase of parliamentary election. The focus has sharply shifted to the development projects transforming the temple town. Kriti Vadhera has more.
The development projects at Ayodhya aims to blend its rich cultural heritage with modern amenities, positioning it as a world-class city. The emphasis on infrastructure, tourism and urban development aligns with the broader vision of making Ayodhya a major religious and cultural hub. With the elections approaching, these development initiatives are seen as a crucial element of the political narrative, highlighting the government's dedication to progress and modernization. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's recent visit underscored the government's commitment to Ayodhya's growth.
Ayodhya is getting its recognition on international platform, and tourists are coming from all over the world, and we are very, very, very happy about it. But at the same time, as a voter, we need more. We need medical facilities in Ayodhya. Every single time, if there is any case of emergency, we have to rush to another city, and which is a big problem here.
In Ayodhya, there is a lot of beautification is going on. That's so nice. We are getting a vibe of being in an Ayodhya, a place, ritual place. But there is a need of ground level work. We need education. We need good educational institute, good medical institute.
This election in Ayodhya is not just about choosing representatives. It is a contest over the vision for the city's future, balancing its rich heritage with the aspirations of its residents for progress and development.
Overall developments will play a significant role when it comes to electoral landscape of Ayodhya.
as the city's transformation continues to garner national and international attention. With camera person Yogesh Tiwari, I am Kriti Vadhera reporting from Ayodhya Dham for DD India.
Meanwhile, Ayodhya's district magistrate Nitish Kumar has entered the Asia Book of Records for establishing the largest floating logo of what is known as the Systematic Voters Education and Electoral Participation for raising awareness among voters. A judge of the Asia Book of Records presented Kumar with a medal and a certificate at a ceremony held at the Vivekananda Auditorium of Awadh University in the town. Moving on, an interministerial delegation from India has concluded its maiden meeting held in the UAE from the 15th to the 17th of May. The meeting took place under an intergovernmental framework agreement on what is known as the India-West Asia-Europe Economic Corridor. The agreement provides for cooperation on the development of this corridor and potential joint investments and technical collaboration. India's Foreign Secretary Vinay Mohan Kwatra met with his British counterpart for the annual UK-India Strategic Dialogue in London on Friday. The progress made on the UK-India 2030 roadmap was reviewed along with the entire gamut of bilateral relations, regional and global issues of mutual interest. Right now, take a look at what else is making news in India. A rise in temperature affects humans and animals alike. So, to beat the heat, the Wildlife Department of Udhampur in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir has made cooling arrangements for wildlife. They are fed with watermelons, sprinklers have been installed, and the animals also get a regular medical checkup. An Indian actor, Gurucharan Singh, returned home on the 17th of May. He had gone missing on the 22nd of April. Police in India's capital, New Delhi, recorded a statement in a court. Singh said that he had left home on a spiritual journey. He acted in a popular TV serial called Tarak Mehta Ka Ulta Chashma. 10 people were killed and more than 20 injured when a bus caught fire on an expressway in the New district of Haryana. The bus was returning from Vrindavan in Uttar Pradesh. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's aide Bibhav Kumar was arrested by the Delhi police on Saturday. He'll be produced in the 30 Hazari court. Kumar has been accused of assaulting AAP's Rajya Sabha lawmaker Swati Maliwal at the Chief Minister's official residence. A 9-day-long Baul Music Festival began in Dhaka on Friday to celebrate the 250th birth anniversary of mystic saint and bard Fakir Lalon Shah. The event is being organized by an organization called Lalon Biswa Sangha, which is working to popularize his works and promote research on him. The High Commissioner of India in Dhaka and Bangladesh's Ministry of Cultural Affairs are supporting the event. Speakers at the event highlighted the deeply humanist worldview espoused by Fakir Lalon Shah in his songs and philosophical discourses. Nepal's Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal Prachanda has written to the country's Parliament Secretariat to take a vote of confidence from the House of Representatives on the 20th of May. As per Article 102 of the Constitution of Nepal, the Prime Minister should table a motion for a vote of confidence within 30 days if a political party in a coalition government withdraws its support to the Prime Minister. Prachanda will seek a trust vote after the Upendra Yadav-led Janata Samajwadi Party Nepal withdrew its support on the 13th of May after a split in the party. It's the fourth time that Prachanda, who became Prime Minister in December 2022, has to undertake a floor test. The coalition government needs the support of 138 lawmakers to ensure a vote of confidence. And still to come on DD India Live. US Vice President Kamala Harris urges more Indian Americans to run for elected office. And in the Indian Premier League, Faf du Plessis Royal challenges Bengaluru to take on Ruturaj Gaikwad's Chennai Super Kings in a do-or-die match for both teams.
we are looking at a seminal relationship that is redefining world politics, the so-called no limits strategic partnership between Russia and China.
These two countries are actually trying to create a world order which moves away from Brussels and Washington DC.
If you look at any chance of a conflict between India and China, it would be very difficult for us to imagine that Russia would put all its weight behind India.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. To West Asia now, the first shipment of aid reached the shores of Gaza via a pier built with U.S. assistance. The White House said the additional aid from the U.S. was arriving in Cyprus to be loaded onto ships for delivery into Gaza via the new pier. In a post on social media, U.S. President Joe Biden said that the need to get more aid to the most vulnerable is urgent. A White House official said that the U.S. has a robust security plan to protect personnel involved in operating the pier. A small number of U.S. troops are involved in helping to facilitate the aid from ships to the pier and for security purposes. Israel's army released the footage on Saturday showing the arrival of the aid. This delivery takes place as Israel comes under growing global pressure to allow more supplies into Gaza. The temporary floating pier was pre-assembled at the Israeli port of Ashdod and moved into place on Thursday off the coast of Gaza, which lacks a port infrastructure of its own. The pier operation is estimated to cost $320 million and involve 1,000 U.S. troops. Israel has retrieved the bodies of 3 hostages from the Gaza Strip. They were identified as one Shani Lauk, Amit Bushkila and Yitzhak Gelenta. They were murdered by Hamas while escaping the Nova Music Festival on the 7th of October last year. Their bodies had been taken to Gaza. Israel's government had confirmed the death of German-Israeli Shani Lauk, a 23-year-old tattoo artist, in late October. A video that circulated on social media at the time showed her half-naked body slung across the back of a pickup truck and paraded through Gaza. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu praised the military operation on Friday. He reiterated his pledge to ensure the return of all hostages, dead or alive.
With a heavy heart that I share the news that last night the Israel Defense Forces and ISA forces rescued the bodies of our hostages, Shani Lauk, Amit Bushkila, and Yitzhak Gelenta, who were taken hostage during the Hamas massacre on October 7th and they were murdered by Hamas. Their bodies were transferred to medical professionals for forensic examination and identification. After the procedure was completed, we notified their families. Our hearts go out to them, to the families, at this difficult time. We will leave no stone unturned. We will do everything in our power to find our hostages and bring them home.
Israel's military battled Hamas in the narrow alleyways of Jabalia in northern Gaza on Friday, even as Hamas attacked Israeli tanks massing around Rafah in the southern part of the enclave. Jabalia is the largest of Gaza's 8 historic refugee camps. The Israel Defense Forces said that its troops killed more than 60 militants in Jabalia in recent days and located a weapons warehouse. Such an operation would typically involve several brigades of thousands of troops each, making it one of the biggest of the war. Israel said that it must capture Rafah to destroy Hamas and ensure its safety. An Israeli airstrike on the Jenin refugee camp in the West Bank killed a Hamas terrorist. 8 others were wounded in the operation. Israel's military said that a fighter jet and a helicopter conducted the strike, which is a rarity in the West Bank. Israel said that it struck a compound used as an operations center by terrorists and confirmed the killing of one Islam Khameseh, who was responsible for several attacks against Israelis. Moving on, Ukraine's top commander warned on Friday of heavy battles looming on the war's new front in northeastern Kharkiv region as Russia's President Vladimir Putin said Moscow was carving out a buffer zone in the area. Russian forces attacked Kharkiv region's north last Friday, making inroads of up to 10 kilometers and outnumbering Kyiv's troops who are trying to hold the line. Putin said that Russia was creating a buffer zone in Ukraine's northeast to protect its own border regions, but said that capturing the city of Kharkiv, which is Ukraine's second largest, was not part of his current plan. A White House official has said that the U.S. government does not encourage or enable attacks with U.S.-supplied weapons inside Russia.
We do not encourage, nor do we enable attacks using U.S.-supplied weapon systems inside Russian territory. That's the policy. That has not changed.
U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris has urged more Indian Americans to run for elected office, saying that they are currently underrepresented given their growing population in the country. Her comment comes as Indian Americans from across the country gather in Washington, D.C. to organize themselves ahead of the U.S. presidential election. Kate Fisher has more.
From grassroots activism to running for office, Indian Americans are a burgeoning force in US politics. And with less than 6 months to go until the presidential election here, politicians, activists, artists and community leaders have gathered in Washington to try to work out how to increase their impact. And there's no time to waste on that, according to US Vice President Kamala Harris, who says that at the moment, not enough Indian Americans are running for office. Well, some of those already elected to the US Congress have offered their inspiration.
When I was first elected in 2012, I was the only Indian American member of Congress. Now there's 5 of us, and you see all these candidates running around the country. So it's not just running for office. You see folks that are running campaigns, that are, in high positions in the administration or on Capitol Hill or in state houses. So I think it's an ascendancy. And from the Biden campaign, we know in critical states like Nevada, Arizona, North Carolina, that are states that are in play, the Indian American population, if we get good turnout, can be the difference.
There are some critical states around the country, Arizona, where Indian Americans can make the difference in a House seat, but also in the presidential race. And so I think our goal is to make sure that we're engaging the population, that we're turning them out to vote, that we're getting them excited, that we're building up the momentum, and helping people to see that Indian Americans are becoming more and more prominent, and we want their voices and we want their engagement.
But the war in Gaza could turn out to be a stumbling block on the campaign trail.
The shift in U.S. policy is absolutely essential if we are going to win back voters across the country for whom it is very difficult for them to listen to our economic message. As I said to him, we can't get in the door to talk about your message, Mr. President, because we need to have a shift on Gaza. And if we have that, then we can earn back the votes.
This year's US presidential election is one of the closest in history, meaning that the millions of Indian American voters will be more vital than ever in deciding who will lead the country for the next 4 years. In Washington, Kate Fisher reporting for DD India.
In some more news from the U.S., Republican candidate Donald Trump on Friday said that he wants to debate U.S. President Joe Biden. Biden and Trump have agreed to 2 debates ahead of November's election, scheduling televised face-offs that could prove critical in their tight rematch to win the White House. The first debate will air on 27th of June U.S. time on CNN, while ABC said it will host the second presidential debate on the 10th of September. During a visit to the city of Minneapolis, Trump said that he expected the moderators of the debate to be fair. He said that a deal was in the works for a debate between the vice presidential candidates, even though Trump has not announced his pick yet.
I think we're actually going to be getting a lot of those union votes that they typically get. I think we're going to get a lot of the union votes. United Auto Workers, they're fed up with United Auto Workers in terms of their leadership, and I think we're getting that. I think we're getting a lot of Teamsters voting for us. We're doing polls. We're like at 82%. And tough to get the top guys, but I think we're going to get some top guys very soon.
All right, now take a look at what else is making news around the world. The German city of Saarbrücken in the state of Saarland is badly affected by rains. Emergency services are deployed after incessant rain in the region caused a major disruption. Sony Pictures Entertainment and Apollo Global Management have signed a non-disclosure agreement that will allow them to look at Paramount's books ahead of a potential bid for the movie studio's assets. The companies backing away from an initial plan to make an offer is likely to make recovery for Paramount difficult, which is struggling after last year's months-long strikes by Bollywood writers and actors and falling cable subscriptions in the US. In business news, Indian stock markets were open on Saturday for a special trading session in two parts in the equity and equity derivative segments to evaluate their disaster preparedness in the event of a major disruption. The National Stock Exchange and the Bombay Stock Exchange held a special live trading session to test their preparedness and resilience. The benchmark Sensex ended at 74,006, up 89 points in the second part of the special trading session, while the Nifty 50 closed at 22,502, up 36 points. Saturday's special session involved an intraday switch from the primary side to the disaster recovery side for equity and equity derivative segments. The session was divided into two parts. The goal of this special session was to evaluate participants' ability to handle significant disruptions. In the Indian Premier League, Faf du Plessis' Royal Challengers Bengaluru will take on Rituraj Gaikwad's Chennai Super Kings at the Chinnaswamy Stadium on Saturday. With three playoff places already decided in this season, the race for the final spot has heated up in the competition. Defending champion CSK has 14 points with a better net run rate. For its part, Bengaluru has 12 points and a net run rate of .387. But what has heightened the drama surrounding the game is a forecast of rain. A washout will take CSK through to the playoffs, while the RCB will need to win at least 18 runs or chase the target with 11 balls to spare. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of DD India Live. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. You can scan the QR code on the screen to download now. So let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and Instagram. You can also check out our website ddindia.co.in. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. All of us here in New Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.